Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Special thanks to my producer who's making it happen for me today, Mr. Jeremiah Long. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. So if you like the video, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards Football. And today's video is our 2024 NFL Draft Prospect, Junior Colson, linebacker out of the University of Michigan. Before I talk about this young man and his great skill set, playing at the University of Michigan this year, kudos to the Wolverine Nation for winning the national championship. And you look at the University of Michigan in this year in a football season, and you think about everything they went through from the situation with the head coach, Jim Harbaugh, and it looked like it was the University of Michigan against the world. Well, we got a lot of great stories when we talk about great prospects coming into this draft. But the young man on the screen, I want to say this. When you learn his story and you think about it, it makes you smile. And it makes you realize that dreams do come true. And you look at the strength within a person. And sometimes after really doing my background check and looking up the story about Junior Colson, linebacker at the University of Michigan, I have to say that I'm very blessed here today. They even have the opportunity to do an NFL draft prospect video on this young man. The young man was born in the country of Haiti. And we know back about 10 years ago, they had the serious earthquake there, and it was a very, very terrible situation in that country. But what I really came amazed with was that this young man at 9 years old, well, at 7 years old, lost his father, who was the closest thing to him. And in his father's will is that for my son to have a better life, I like him to go to an orphanage. And I'm saying to myself, wow, that's pretty deep. And it took 2 years for this young man to get adopted. And he got adopted by a family by the last name Colson out of my home state, the state of Tennessee. And from a little small area called Brentwood, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, Tennessee. And they brought this young man over here on May 24th, 2012 at 9 years old. A young man that had lost the closest thing to him, which was his father at 7 years old. And then while the young man was in the home over there in Haiti, he lost his best friend that was adopted by family and friends. Think about at 9 years old, you coming over into a country you never been, and then to put everything in perspective, Junior Colson couldn't even speak English. But the family that adopted Mr. Colson gave him a better life. And this is what you produce when a young man at that age, at 9 years old, going into an area you don't know, you're by yourself. Really, the family that's adopting you, granted, they're loving you, but you're coming from a situation you don't have nobody else in your life. And that young man, I would say, had God in his life. And that's why when you look at Junior Colson at 6'3", 247 pounds, this gentleman to me is the best linebacker coming into the 2024 NFL draft. And what stuck out to me, I seen Michigan play this year at times, but I never sat down and watched Michigan play a full game. And I did this year watching the 2024 Rose Bowl. And this gentleman on the defensive side was the best defensive player on the field that day. 10 tackles against the University of Alabama. He was a spy on defense watching Jalen Marrow. Boy, today young man had an outstanding football game. And when I look at his skill set, I know a lot of people saying I might be going over the top, but he reminds me of a lot of linebackers that played at that level, his size. And Barry Krause that played at the University of Alabama, who was the defensive MVP in the Sugar Bowl in 1979. Of course, the great Lawrence Taylor. Mr. Colson has got that sideline speed. We know how LT ended up with the New York Giants. Then Wilbert Marshall, that played with the University of Florida, that won the Super Bowl ring with the Chicago Bears. Then the great Brian Bosworth that played inside at the University of Oklahoma. Then LeVar Arrington that came out of Penn State that had all that athletic ability, about 6'3", 240. And then Lamar Lathan that played at the University of Houston, who was off the Kizah. Junior Colson has got that type of skill set and all those players I just mentioned. And think about all the great linebackers that played in Michigan. Mike Taylor, Sam Sword, Jared Irons, Ron Simpkins. This young man by way of Haiti, by way of Brentwood, Tennessee, outside of Nashville, Tennessee, might be the best linebacker pound for pound as far as ability that's ever came out of the University of Michigan. Let me talk about the young man's skill set. When you talk about instinct, locating a football as a linebacker, A+. Excellent in working past blockers, A+. Glued to the running back with the eyes, A+. Go back and watch the 2024 Rose Bowl and look at the eyes when he was glued to Mr. Jalen Merrill. Pro speed to go sideline to sideline, A+ as a linebacker. Violent and a very consistent tackler at the high level, A+. Outstanding punch as a linebacker. Willingness stiff and move, A+. Outstanding closing bursts and speed when you're attacking the line of scrimmage, A+. Has the ability to read, diagnose, and react, A+, as all the great linebackers have. And then my final skill set, well, I'm going to give him an A+. When you look at him and you go back to the Alabama game in the 2024 Rose Bowl, he's a sure tackler. He was the most sure tackler this year in college football, A+. Junior Colson, outstanding football player out of the University of Michigan. It's been an honor to do your video today, my brother. I'd like to give special thanks, honor, and blessings to my producer, Mr. Jeremiah Long, for making it happen for me today. I've been your host today. I'm Vincent Turner. We like to say, be blessed for the rest of the week here on 100 Yards Football. Junior Colson, linebacker out of the University of Michigan.